U.S. government often spends more than it takes in tax revenue. Where does the money come from? In order to raise the needed cash, the U.S. Treasury Department will print Treasury bills, bonds, and notes, which are the same thing with different maturities and interest rates. These bonds, bills, and notes are sold in scheduled auctions. They are mostly purchased by banks, other large financial institutions, and the central banks of other countries. In the auction example, we still don't have any new money. New money is created when the Federal Reserve buys a Treasury bond, bill, or note from a bank. When the Federal Reserve makes this purchase, it pays for the bond with money that was created out of thin air. I know it sounds crazy, but here's a quote from a Federal Reserve article. "When you or I write a check, there must be sufficient funds in our account to cover the check. But when the Federal Reserve writes a check, there is no bank deposit on which the check is drawn. When the Federal Reserve writes a check, it is creating money."
The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default.
G. Edward Griffin in The Creature from Jekyll Island wrote, "The bottom line is that Congress and the banking cartel, the Federal Reserve, have entered into a partnership in which the cartel has the privilege of collecting interest on money which it creates out of nothing, a perpetual override on every American dollar that exists in the world. Congress, on the other hand, has access to unlimited funding without having to tell the voters their taxes are being raised through the process of inflation." Former Bank of England President Sir Josiah Stamp said, "Bankers own the earth. Take it away from them, but leave them the power to create money and control credit, and with a flick of a pen, they will create enough to buy it back." The ability to create money out of thin air and lend it interest is the power to control governments and economies and to profit off just about every person on this planet. There's a reason why they shroud the counterfeiting sleight of hand in complexity. There's a reason why something this important isn't taught in government schools and isn't common knowledge. If I could shine a magic spotlight on this issue, instantly illuminating every human being on the planet, the result would be a lot of pissed off people. Henry Ford said it best. "It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for, if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning." That's the Achilles heel of the banking elite and their government partners, that the slaves will revolt, that we'll figure out the con, that we'll learn the magician's tricks. Don't worry about the bankers and politicians. They're not that concerned. They have 13 years of government schooling, the mass media, culture, patriotism, entertainment, and every other form of propaganda at their disposal to mold your mind, to make you into a good, law-abiding citizen who shuts up, watches television, goes into debt, pays taxes, and waves a flag in support of endless war.